II, the population of Sarajevo in Yugoslavia numbered some 115,000 residents, including Muslim Bosnians, Catholic Croats, Orthodox Serbs, and approximately 12,000 Jews. On April 6, 1941, the Axis powers invaded Yugoslavia, and the German Air Force began a bombing raid on Sarajevo. 9 days later, the Germans entered the city, and Sarajevo was annexed to the independent state of Croatia, a puppet state established by Germany and Italy and governed by the fascist Ustaše movement. The Jewish population was subjected to anti-Jewish statutes, arrests, and later, mass expulsions. Most of Sarajevo's Jews were deported to the Jasenovac concentration camp between September and November 1941. Immediately following the outbreak of the war, the Gestapo established its headquarters near the home of Muslim furniture dealer Mustafa Hardaga and his wife Zejneba, who lived with their 2 young children, Salko and Zarfa, and Mustafa's brother Izzet, his wife Bahria, and their children. Josef Kabilio, the owner of a local lead pipe factory, was Hardaga's good friend and business partner. The Kabilio house was badly damaged in the bombings, leaving the family homeless. Despite the dangers involved, the Hardaga family welcomed Josef, his wife Rivka, and their children, Binyamin and Buena, into their home. The two families became one, to the point that the Hardaga women, who were devout Muslims, stopped covering their faces in the company of the Kabilios. After a time, Gestapo agents appeared at the doorstep of the Hardaga house, demanding to check their papers. The Kabilios hid in a large closet and were thus spared. The Hardaga family continued to hide the Kabilios until Rivka and the children managed to escape and go into hiding. First in Trebinje, then later in Mostar, which was under Italian control and therefore safer for Jews. Josef remained in Sarajevo. Eventually, he was arrested, jailed, and sentenced to be transferred to Jasenovac, along with other prisoners. However, due to the harsh winter conditions, it was decided that the men would remain in Sarajevo in order to work clearing snow off the streets. One day, while thus occupied, Josef was recognized by Zejneba Hardaga, who then began providing food for him and the other prisoners, in spite of the great risks this entailed. Sometime later, Josef managed to escape and returned to the Hardaga house. The family hid him and took care of him for 2 months. But in light of the danger and the house's proximity to the Gestapo headquarters, Josef eventually decided to escape to Mostar, where he was reunited with his family. The Kabilio family was discovered and sent to the Italian concentration camp on the island of Rab. Following the truce between Italy and the Allies in September 1943, the area became occupied by German military forces. The Kabilio family was once again forced to flee, this time to the liberated zones in Kordun, in central Croatia, where they joined the partisan forces and thus lived to see the end of the war. Only approximately 2,000 of Sarajevo's Jews managed to survive, some of them thanks to the help of the righteous among the nations. After the liberation of Yugoslavia, the Kabilio family returned to Sarajevo and to the Hardaga family home. It was then revealed to them that Zejneba's father, Ahmed Sadiq, was killed in Jasenovac for the charge of harboring Jews. Later on, the Kabilio family immigrated to Israel and established itself in Jerusalem. At Josef's initiative, in 1984, Yad Vashem recognized the Hardaga family and Ahmed Sadiq as righteous among the nations. The following year, Zejneba came to Israel to receive the title and plant a tree on the Avenue of the Righteous at Yad Vashem. The story does not end here. 50 years after their rescue, the Kabilio family got the opportunity to return the favor to their saviors. In 1992, the Bosnian War broke out and Sarajevo was under siege. Zejneba Hardaga, who still resided in the city with her family members, received medical aid and food packages from the Jewish community in Sarajevo and from the American Joint. However, the conditions she and her family were forced to endure remained harsh. They suffered from hunger and watched their fellow citizens get killed on the streets every single day. The Kabilio family searched for a way to help the people responsible for their survival. At the same time, Dr. Mordecai Paldiel, director of the Department of the Righteous Among the Nations at Yad Vashem at the time, was also trying to assist the Hardagas. Eventually, following great efforts, some of which even reached then Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, they received permission to extract the Hardaga family from Sarajevo and bring them to Israel. They were transferred out of Sarajevo as part of the last Jewish refugees rescue convoy organized by the American Joint and the Jewish community in Sarajevo. On February 10, 1994, a plane carrying the Hardaga family, along with other Sarajevo refugees, landed in Israel. They were greeted by a crowd. Among them was Buena, the daughter of Yosef and Rivka Kabilio. Zejneba was given lodgings at the absorption center in Mevaseret Zion. Roughly half a year later, she passed away and was buried at the Bet Zayit cemetery. Her daughter Aida converted to Judaism and took the name Sarah. She lives in Jerusalem and worked at Yad Vashem for many years.